Sure.
Today we'll discuss about global temporary table as well as lexical parameters. Okay. GT, generally we call it as GTT.
Yes.
I mean, designing a report using GTT approach.
Yes.
So GTT stands for global temporary table.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between a normal table and global temporary table is? We'll just see the example directly. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. 1 minute. I was creating in this text file. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just create this table and I'll create this table also. Okay, both table got created, and if you see the message, table created and global temporary table created. There's a difference. And now
On commit preserve rows means like we
assume that as of
can.
now that is a syntax. You need to follow that.
Okay. 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 Your object name like
Okay. Now do you see here?
two
It
tables.
still shows table. The object type
Table
still
only.
shows table, and
Okay.
here can you see data object ID? It is null. You'll
Null.
find
Yes.
a little difference between the metadata also here. Somewhere it will have some property called commit, preserve or something is there. Temporary, can you see?
Okay.
Temporary is Y for
Yes.
GTT. Temporary
Yeah.
is Y for GTT. For other table, it was N.
For
That's the difference.
normal table.
Yeah, normal table
Yes.
it is N.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one of the difference. Now, okay,
Okay.
let us just try to insert the data. Then we'll clearly understand what is the thing which I'm talking about. I'll take one
Okay.
more worksheet. If you have larger number of columns, it is very difficult to design a
Yeah.
insert script. If it's a smaller columns, it's okay, but that's the reason I prefer to use this one always.
Yes.
Okay, so what we have: serial number, message, and date. Serial number, message, and date.
Wait.
And the same way, I'll apply for this one also.
Normal table. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
One row inserted. Yes.
so normal table we have one row, and GTT observe for the GTT also. Sorry, was it
Oh.
inserted or not?
No, we didn't insert that one.
Okay,
Just we have renamed.
okay, now it got inserted.
No. Yes.
Okay, now it is inserted, right? Observe again. I'm disconnecting now. Okay, I'll just disconnect. Okay, it is asking whether you want to commit, so I'm still committing it. Okay, I'll commit it. I committed the data.
Okay.
Reopen the connection again.
Yes.
Reopen the connection
Correct.
and try to execute the first one, the normal table. We got the data.
Yes.
Observe the
Yes.
GTT. No data, right? So
Yeah. It
the
is
bin.
like bind variable.
Come again.
Is that like a session dependent bind variable?
Don't use word bind. Bind
Okay, okay.
bind comes into picture when you're binding. What do you mean by binding? Assigning a value. Nothing but
Assigning a value. Yeah.
during a parameter, right? Generally, like when you run a query, whether you have a bind parameter or not. Bind parameter is nothing but like
Okay.
you're applying some particular parameter. To say easily, it's a parameter.
Yes.
Don't use bind keyword.
Yes.
So
Oh,
now,
okay. Okay.
so now in this case, yeah, as I said, it's session dependent. So whatever
Hmm.
the GTT is applicable only for that session. That's it. Simple. For that session only.
Okay.
Whenever you open any connection, it will create its own session, and whatever you create, it will be available only through that session only. That is the reason it is not persistent. It is not persistent.
Hmm.
GTT is not persistent at all. It is persistent only for that session, only for that time. That's it. And this
Hmm.
particular GTT approach is preferred when you have complex queries to design and where you don't want to waste the memory. Now, let us say if I create a temporary table and if I go on
Oh,
inserting, there should be some other way to manage the data and there should be some other way to delete the data also. By using GTT,
yes.
I'm least bothered. Automatically, data will get deleted. Simple.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
advantage of the GTT. And in which scenarios you prefer to use GTT is when you want to design very complex report where a single query will not solve your requirement. Then what we do is from one table you'll insert some data, from another query you'll insert some data, from another query you'll get some more data. So you'll try to do you'll build a logic, and based on that you'll perform the remaining parts.
Yes.
Okay. So what we do
Yeah.
is like let us say we may take some example. Assume that like
Hmm.
we want to design supply details. What you say, supplier,
Yes.
what you say, supply header and supply line details. Okay,
Okay.
nothing but supplier sides. I mean,
Yeah.
okay. Now what we want to do is we want to go with a GTT approach. In our case, actually, for this requirement, there is no need to go with GTT approach. But if you are using some other table like a GL balances or material transaction lines where you have like at least 50 lakhs of data, then like better you go with the GTT approach. If you have huge
Okay.
data, go with the GTT approach. If you have very less data, then you can go with a normal query. Okay.
Okay.
Now, maybe I can show you one example. MTL transaction lines. Just see the count, then you can easily understand.
Yeah.
Material transaction, I think it's wrong.
Table maybe.
MTL transaction, I forgot. Yeah, transaction, sources, transaction history, transaction. Okay, you can just see this one. I think GL balance we already saw it, right? Already.
Yeah.
GL balance we saw it. It was a huge data. Fine. So now
Hmm.
anyway, like the thing is you have to remember you generally prefer to use GTT approach when you have huge data or where you have a complex your requirement is such a way that you cannot design a single query to solve the issue. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of using GTT you can use normal table, but the advantage of GTT is it doesn't need to bother about maintaining the data, because if you use a normal table always you need to delete the data. Okay.
Yeah.
So here 96 lakhs 18,200.
Yes.
Anyways, let us build the query. AP suppliers, base of AP supplier sites. Okay.
Hmm. have.
Do we have a supplier level? We don't have, right?
No, we don't have. Yes. No, we don't have that one already.
Supplied sites level, you'll have it, right?
Yeah, in that ticket.
Oh, this is all underscore all.
All, yeah, that's why it's not picking the data.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
AP supplied sites. Yeah.
vendor ID, vendor name.
Vendor site ID.
Okay, I'll tell. So we are in this scenario, right? Just for your for your maybe knowledge purpose, there is something called audit history. Okay,
Okay.
just
Okay.
check out what is audit history in Oracle ERP.
Okay. Audit
Maybe,
history in Oracle.
yeah. Okay, there. If you enable audit history on a particular table, what happens is it will create views. Nothing but it will create triggers on your base tables, and it will insert the data in that. Nothing but like generally, like what do you mean by audit? Nothing but what action you are doing, right? Let us say you have a table and you want to know who modified it, when it was inserted it, because as of now any table will not maintain the history of the thing, right? If we consider HRMS table, there
Yes.
you have audit history, but the thing was it is not specific to each and every column, right? Let us say if you modify something, it will create a new record, and that is the reason maybe if you are aware, you have tables with underscore f and underscore x. You know that?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Per people X you're telling.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Segment one is vendor number,
FN. Yeah. Both tables.
and I think no other columns we need to use. That should be fine. Vendor type is strict. Okay, vendor type we can ignore as of now. Okay, then ASSA vendor site code. This should be okay as of now. Vendor site code, and then HOE dot name, right? Hopefully it should be
Yes.
fine. Cool. Now
Yeah.
order by name. I'll go with a sub dot vendor name.
Mm.
Yeah, 1530 is
Global
very
site.
small actually, right? 1530 is very small count.
Yes.
Yeah, now here comes the important part. Now we have this column. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have
Yes.
to design a report which should have all these columns. We need to design a report
Okay.
which should have all these columns. So nothing but we want to go with the GTT approach, right? Nothing but first of all I have to create a table, right? I have to create a GTT table.
Yes.
So how do you create a table?
Yes.
The same syntax I have to use, right? But the thing is, like here, for every column I need to know what is the data type, right? Every column I have to know data type. Every column I have to mention the
Yes.
data, all these things. So what I prefer to do is very simple. Create global sorry, temporary ta- table XXIF supplier GTT as, okay,
As.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And but in the real time, the thing is you need to maintain your code history also, right? You need to maintain your code pack also. What you
Yeah.
do is once you create your table,
Yes.
just get the DDL. So in Toad you can get it. You just control click on your object, automatically get it. But in this one, I don't think you'll get it. That's it. Not. I think for this it will not work. Create table. I select start from so and so, right?
Click. Yes. Same.
We'll try again. If it doesn't work, then we have still have another approach. Should I use parenthesis? Missing right parenthesis. Okay, so what I do is still I have an option. As of now, I'll just create a normal table. Okay.
Hmm.
create table. Okay, still gave or okay, still running it. Okay, table got created.
Yes.
So now what I do is I don't want to take all this, unnecessary task. I prefer, so first of all, I'll delete the data, truncate table. See, you can just simply go with the normal syntax. But why I'm telling this approach, because generally, like if you have larger number of columns and each column is having different data type, it is very difficult for you to find out all those things. But the easier approach is
Yeah.
create a normal table,
Create.
and here, yeah, I'll just change that. So now table got created,
Yes. Yes.
and somewhere you can
Truncate
you
that.
see, yeah, I truncated the data. You have SQL, right? Very simple. Now you got the SQL for this. So we using DML, we got the DDL. You got it.
Yes.
So using this DDL,
Yes.
I'll create my
Yes.
table. Why I'm doing all this one is because to just get my shortcut. That's the only thing.
Yes.
That's the only thing. Now I got my shortcut. So I'll just use this one. Okay. Create.
Yes.
I'll just use global temporary table. And now I'll apply on commit preserve rows. So I'll just drop the existing normal table also. Drop table.
Done.
Hmm, what happened? Invalid create command.
Invalid create command
It's slow actually some today.
showing. Yeah.
Hmm. It dropped now. Okay. This is spelling
Get
mistake.
trap table now.
Temporary.
Hmm.
Okay, this is okay now.
Yeah.
Invalid create command. Sorry.
Apps we have to give apps dot
The commit preserve.
preserve.
No, apps that is okay. You can ignore actually. You're creating.
Yeah.
You're already in the same schema, right? It's not required. Okay, now we just
Yes.
created our GTT.
Yeah.
Next thing is we'll just try to
Hmm.
design our report, and we'll see when to call our this particular one. Okay.
Okay.
So we can like what we do is as of now we don't have any parameters, right? You can ignore the parameter as of now. Okay. Let's see how do we call it. XXIO supplier GTT report. So there is nothing to design in the data model as such, right? Because whatever the query which we design will execute from our PL SQL. We need to design PL SQL also now. Okay. So let us design the PL SQL first then.
Okay.
So
Today there is no flexibility on the screen. It's
oh,
like
acha,
after
okay.
entering, after a few seconds it's coming.
Yeah, even
The
I
action you
think.
are performing, right?
Yeah, yeah. There is a delay it seems, right?
Yeah. Few seconds.
I'll just create now a very simple package, okay?
Okay.
Supplier, supplier report utils dot pks, or maybe I can underscore spec dot sql. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Create a package. Insert data. Yeah. You have to create now package body. Yeah. Is begin and procedure name last.
So now what are the query which we used here?
Down. Select
Either you can go with the cursor approach or you can just directly go with the normal insert approach. Either should
for
work.
loop. Okay.
If it is huge data, better go with the bulk collect. Very small data, you can just go with the normal direct insert into a select star from
Yeah.
once. This, that's it. Very simple. Commit. We have to explicitly commit. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
You first of all delete the data also. Why? Because if you are in the same session, if you're running the report again, what happens is your data will get repeated.
Yes.
So always remember when you're using GTT, delete the data and then insert it. Commit is not required at line number 8
Yeah.
because one particular commit should be enough, but either way, this is not required actually.
Yeah.
Okay, it's saying values keyword. Insert into.
As yeah. Values.
Still we got issue. Insert into table has
Yes.
values or what?
Insert a table name. That's it.
Hmm,
Values keyword only. Same error it's showing. And values. Insert into table. Values. Huh?
hmm. Okay, no as or values. Okay, just insert followed by query. That's it. Okay, now
Hmm.
so let me go to reports now. So what we have to do as of now, there is no data model, right? Data model, do you think we require or not?
Yes.
We require or not? Without having data model, how can we
We
display the
don't
data?
require. I think.
Without
No.
having data model, how can you display data? We cannot display, right?
PL.
So what we have to do is
Yes.
we require data model. So
We have
that's
to
over here.
create here. See. Report editor.
So now here instead of mentioning our main query, I have to mention the query based on GTT. Select start from GTT. That's it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But how does will populate into GTT? We'll see it. But as of now, let us finish the data model and layout. So here maybe we can go with a
Okay.
normal grouping report or we can just go with a tabular report. Okay, let us go with the tabular report. So our concentration now today is on the GTT concept rather than the layout concept.
Yeah. Okay.
So okay, let's have the fields. And 2, 3.
You're from BTech background or else like MCA or like that?
I am from MTech background.
High tech. Okay.
Too much techie.
Computer science only.
No computer science. Artificial intelligence.
What is that? Artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence, you know? You don't know? AI. You are from electronics
It's
or
a
science?
no. No computer science.
Computer
I
science,
heard
you don't.
artificial intelligence.
Computer science,
Yeah,
you
computer
don't know that?
science.
You don't know AI.
I know. I know. AI, EI or AI.
AI,
I heard EI
artificial intelligence. I'm
from
not saying
aeronautical. Artificial intelligence. That group is there in engineering college right now. I don't think.
it is not a group, it's just a subject I'm saying. Org name, vendor name, vendor, segment one, vendor ID. Okay, vendor side code. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so just control compile, control shift R. Of course, we'll not get any data because our GTT is not having any data as of now. But how do you get the data in the GTT? Let us see that. So what we do is, if you remember, so we have triggers, right? Report level triggers. So what we do is, so we need to call our package at what point of time before report, before report, or maybe you can call
Yes.
also after parameter. Nothing but because in some set of reports you may need to enter the parameter. In our case, we don't have you don't have parameter, but generally you may have a parameters also. What you have to do is you need to call the package. We can just go with the before report.
Huh?
So go with, click on
Yeah.
before report, press F11. Now call the package. Okay. So set underscore data. Okay. Compile.
Hmm.
Okay. Got compiled. Can you see here now? Automatically it got refreshed back.
Yeah.
Got it?
The screen is totally hanging. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see now?
Yesterday also when I was working in a SQL developer, same thing was happening. Yeah.
I think remote server is slow today, I guess. So I'll try to rerun the report now again. Okay. I'll just compile now. So only thing is just observe when
Hmm.
you want to, when you need to call and what logic you have to mention in data model. In the data model level, fetch the data from
Yes.
your GTT, because rather than from the main query, we have to get the data from GTT, because if you,
Yeah.
because we are inserting the data into our GTT using our PL/SQL logic, and we'll be calling our PL/SQL logic in the
Yeah.
before report trigger. Simple. So in the before report trigger, just call the logic.
Yeah.
Now run it.
Yeah.
Now it is not showing, right? Okay. Control Shift key. Control Shift R. Yeah.
Control shift.
Got it? Control Shift R. I did not
H5.
run actually. Yeah, that's it. So this is how you have to do it. This is how you deal with the
Hmm.
GTT approach. So,
Yes.
so only thing is GTT is a session active table, and whenever you have complex logic, we prefer to use this one. And because in some scenarios, maybe if you are aware or not, there is something called, like in some set of tables, there's something called bomb explosion. Bill of
Okay.
materials, bill of materials.
Bill of material. Yeah. Bill
Or
of
I'll tell
material.
you in the normal real-time scenario. Let us say if you buy a
Hmm.
phone. So for you, just a phone is a single device. Assume that like you want to go with Samsung A5 device. Okay. Now for the maybe the shop owner or for you, you just mention device, right? You just say I just want a Samsung A5 model mobile. But for a manufacturer, phone is not just a single device, right? It will have around 1,000 components, isn't it? To manufacture the
Yes.
Samsung A5 mobile, they require 1,000 components. They need to use 1,000 components to manufacture it. So for the manufacturer to maintain all the set of items or materials required to manufacture a particular product, it's called bill of materials, we call it as. So the end product name is
Okay.
Samsung A5, but the Samsung A5 required 1,000 components, and each component should be assembled in appropriate manner. Simple thing like our computer assembly.
Hmm.
So for you, it's you just like maybe if you like in, I'm not sure now it is there or not, but in some of the company websites, like you can configure your hardware, right? You can configure like, let us I want to, like a Samsung hard disk, or maybe some other hard disk, or RAM of some DDR type. You can configure your particular thing, and then you will manufacture then you can order your particular product. So bill of
Hmm.
material is
Yes.
nothing but set of materials which are required for the end product. That is what bill of material is. Generally we call it as BOM.
Okay.
Okay, what you mean by bomb explosion is nothing but again one more example. Now here, let us say, mm, I can take the same, or maybe I can take another one. Okay, let's take keyboard. Just the end product is keyboard. Now for the keyboard, for you it's just a keyboard, and but for the for the manufacturer, keyboard means nothing but it will have different thing, right? The base material, the plastic base, and the keys, right? The soft keys or what hard keys, whatever it is, and then internal chipset, and you'll have a chipboard, right? Now they'll just mention chipboard. Let us say chipboard, and now this chipboard will contain lot number of chipsets again. Now you have a parent. Keyboard is a parent. It is having just three childs, and the third child is having another child. It goes on. Maybe it can still, let us say if you go to chipset, then like you can go with like a diode, or maybe like a resistor, something like that, or IC. Can you see? Can you understand? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yes.
this is called bomb explosion. Nothing but like let us say you have a requirement, to explode all the levels. Nothing but I want to know what exactly each and every requirement of my product. Then you have to go with a bomb explosion. Just try to read on this one.
Okay.
Then you'll get a little bit
Hmm.
idea on this. Okay.
It is a functional concept, right? Bills of material.
Bills of material is a module. Okay, but technically, generally, if you
Yeah.
get a requirement to design a report, then you have to know it, right? You have to know what it is, what are the
Yeah.
tables involved. Yeah, it's a functional
Yeah.
concept. Yes, it's a functional concept.
Hmm. I'll study about this.
Okay, so we'll stop today here.
Hmm.